Hello and good day. Welcome to our video channel, God's Promises. And today's video will be a fast, concise overview, Book of Judges, chapter 14. Let's get started now. Judges chapter 14 recounts the story of Samson and his marriage to a Philistine woman. The chapter highlights the dangers of intermarriage between believers and non-believers, the consequences of disobedience, and the power of God to use imperfect human beings to accomplish His purposes. The chapter begins with Samson, a judge of Israel, going down to Timnah, a Philistine town, where he sees a woman he desires and asks his parents to arrange a marriage for him. His parents are hesitant, as they prefer that he marry someone from among his own people, but Samson insists on marrying the Philistine woman. As Samson and his parents travel to Timnah to arrange the marriage, a young lion attacks Samson. With the Spirit of the Lord upon him, Samson tears the lion apart with his bare hands, demonstrating his physical strength and God's power. Later, as Samson returns to Timnah for the wedding, he turns aside to see the carcass of the lion and discovers that a swarm of bees has made honey in its carcass. He takes the honey and eats it, violating a Nazirite vow that forbids touching anything dead. At the wedding feast, Samson proposes a riddle to 30 Philistine companions, promising them a reward if they can solve it. The riddle is related to the lion he killed earlier, and the Philistines are unable to solve it. They threaten Samson's wife with violence unless she can coax the answer from him, and she eventually succeeds. When Samson discovers that his wife has betrayed him, he becomes angry and leaves her, returning to his father's house. His father-in-law gives Samson's wife to another man, which infuriates Samson, and he goes on a rampage, killing 30 Philistines in revenge. The story of Samson's marriage and the events surrounding it illustrates the dangers of intermarriage and disobedience. God had commanded His people not to intermarry with the Canaanites, who were pagan and worshipped false gods. Samson's decision to marry a Philistine woman, who also worshipped false gods, led him into temptation and sin. The violation of his Nazirite vow by eating honey from a dead lion showed his disregard for God's commands. Despite Samson's imperfections and disobedience, God used him to accomplish His purposes. Through his physical strength and cunning, Samson was able to defeat the Philistines and begin to deliver Israel from their oppression. God can use imperfect human beings, like Samson, to accomplish His will and bring about His plans. The story of Samson also teaches us the importance of trusting in God's plan and relying on His strength rather than our own. Samson's reliance on his own strength and his willingness to take matters into his own hands led to disastrous consequences. But when Samson turned to God in prayer and relied on his strength, he was able to accomplish great things. In conclusion, Judges chapter 14 teaches us about the dangers of disobedience, the consequences of intermarriage with non-believers, and the power of God to use imperfect human beings to accomplish His purposes. The story of Samson reminds us to trust in God's plan, rely on His strength, and obey His commands. Thank you for visiting us today. Please share with us your favorite Bible chapter below in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help our channel grow. Looking forward to see you back here for our next video. Always take good care.